LSU linebacker Devin White. If anyone has any questions, go ahead and raise your hand and we'll get you a microphone. Please wait on the microphone to get to you. Go right over here on the back left.
So talk to us from the insider's perspective about this defense and what we can expect. What are to be the strengths of this defense this year?
Well, I think the strengths of this defense this year will be about takeaways. We want to get the ball, to our offense so they can make a lot of plays because we expect the offense to make a lot of plays this year, with Coach Ensminger, him being a, fellow LSU quarterback. So, he knows what it takes and he knows what to do, So we want to stride ourselves on takeaways and being dominant for 5 quarters. 5 quarters. 5. That means you never know what's going to happen in the game. So you don't want to leave that extra inch out there because that extra inch can lose or win you the game. So we want to just go hard every play. We want to play the last snap like it's the first snap with that amount of energy, enthusiasm, and we want to continue to do that. And if it goes into overtime, we'll be ready because, we done fought hard all night long.
We'll go back here to the camera. Back right corner.
Word on the street is you own 7 horses. Just kind of tell us a little bit about that and how you spend your Sundays.
I mean, yeah, the word on the street is true. I think that's the best moment of my life is being a horse lover. I've been loving horses since I was young. My first horse is a horse that's so big. His name is Ricky Bobby, and I kind of don't ride him much. I got a new horse this past Sunday, and her name is Daisy May. She's 5 years old, and, I got the chance to move her to Baton Rouge when I first purchased her, and she's at Breck Stables, and I go out there every day. Even if I don't ride, I'm just taking the carries or something, and, she has made my life really easy this past week because, I get to spend so much time with her, so it's not a lot of outside noise, so I don't get distracted by much. I do football in the morning, I do my class and my study hall and tutoring, and then I go straight to the barn and meet all those nice people and, have a day with my horse every day.
We'll go to the camera position over here on the left.
Devin, I feel like I ask you this every time you come back home, but just what does it mean to represent North Louisiana, not only playing for the LSU Tigers, but on this stage at SEC Media Days?
I mean, representing North Louisiana is a big thing because, we have so many guys that have did it before me, such as Tre'Davious White, and the list can go on and on, Benny Logan, all those guys. But, for me, it's very special because at the end of the day, I tell everybody I love LSU. I'm so proud to be here. When Coach Miles offered me a scholarship, I wanted to stand up and shake his hand and say, Coach, I'm committed. But my mentor didn't let me. He told me you got to take other visits. But at the end of the day, I knew what home was, and, I came, and I'm an LSU Tiger. And, I just thank Coach O'Neal for the opportunity to let me come here and speak for the LSU community.
We'll go on the back row over here to the right.
Devin, so LSU's defense last year was pretty young and fairly inexperienced. So how has it been to grow and develop with those guys, and how have you stepped up as a leader with them?
It's been very fun. It's been very challenging. The one thing that I can say is, if you lead by example, others will follow, especially when you got a lot of individual success, such as I had last year. And I just want to be the perfect leader for those guys. I want to do everything the right way, as far as workouts and, just 7-on-7 when the coach is not around. That's when I want to kind of emerge as a leader when, you don't have to do it in front of the coach. It's just instinctively doing it. I'm a guy like, if you drop a piece of trash, I'm going to pick it up because I'm all about making the world a better place. So, I think that's the best thing is just having inexperienced guys. Now they're experienced guys. Everybody that's on the defense this year has played last year. So now we can't have no excuses about this guy young or that guy young. No, this guy needs to mature up and play ball.
We'll go to the camera position on the far right side.
Kind of on that same tone, we talked to Dave earlier this summer, and he talked about you all being able to get to that next level of your defense and you being the guy that sets the tone. Could you talk about the responsibility that comes with that, but also he said that Michael Divinity was poised to have a great year as well.
Yeah, the responsibility that coming with that is countless hours watching film with a mad scientist. I enjoy every single moment of it, being in that room with Coach Aranda and learning football because football is something I want to do for the rest of my life. So I want to know the ins and outs about it. So just being in there with him, he's a great teacher. He's going to break it down, and he's going to also ask you for help, what you think about this. And if it's good enough, he's going to put it into his defense. So I think that's the best thing. And as far as Mike Devin, he hurt his shoulder last year. So I think he's been so mad at himself that he didn't get to show the world what he could do last year that he's just ready to, just break out and have a monster year.
We'll go back here on the back row, right side.
Devin, another former LSU linebacker, Kendall Beckwith, was big into horses too. You guys talk about that, or are they just a coincidence? Or?
The thing with Kendall is he rides American quarter horses, and I ride Tennessee Walkers. So we always going back and forth about it because the thing about Tennessee Walkers, they are smooth. You can set a penny on there and it won't fall off. If you get on Kendall horse, you're going to be bumpy up and down. I went to Clinton, Louisiana, and rode on a 2-hour ride with him, and it was the worst day of my life. But, I'm thankful that, Kendall, my big brother, is a horse lover as well as me. So that's the only thing that we can agree on.
We'll go on the back row over here to the left.
I saw somewhere an article that talked about that this year was the year that Dave Aranda was going to be able to put it all out there, right? I'm curious about that statement, one, and what makes him so special, because there's a lot of people that believe that he's going to be a future head coach.
Well, that statement is so special because he hasn't been at LSU very long, so he hasn't been able to put in a lot of things that he wanted to put in because it takes a long time to learn this stuff, and you can't just go in throwing stuff at young guys, because we always have a young team. But now he's been here 3 years, so now this past spring he been throwing in defense after defense, and we picking up on it because once you get the scheme of one defense, everything else falls in line. And I apply Coach Aranda because at the end of the day, he's not stuck on just one thing. This summer he has been to numerous NFL teams learning different, new strategies, new things to do to bring it back to his defense to make us even better overall. And as far as the head coach thing, I think Coach can be whatever he want to be because at the end of the day, he's a humble guy, respectful, and he wants the best out of his kids, such as myself. That's why, when he get back tomorrow, Tuesday, I got a meeting with him to watch film already on his first day back.
We'll go right here in the middle on the left side.
What's your thoughts on the season opener? You're playing Miami on a neutral field. They played for the ACC championship last year and are supposed to have a good team this year.
Well, my favorite thing to say is iron sharpens iron. So it's no other game that I want to play in to test myself against a team from another conference that's, such as a team like Miami, how good they were last year, the type of momentum they bring to the games, I think this is the best stage for us to play on. Then, on top of that, it's on a Sunday night, and then it's in Jerry World. So I think only thing we have to do is just listen to the coaches and, implement the game plan and just execute the game plan. I think we'll be fine.
We'll go down here on the front row all the way to the left.
With that game against Miami and then 2 more conference games in September alone, how much of the burden of success is on you and the rest of the defense, especially with all those guys y'all lost on offense?
There's no burden on us. We just pencil one game at a time, and our goal is to, go 1-0 every week. Because, at the start of the game, we know we got a 50-50 chance to win because the score is going to be 0-0. So we just take care of the things that we can take care of, and we play for the moment, and we don't play for the future. Eventually the future is going to come, but it'll be after we took care of the things that's right in front of us at that time.
We'll go to the camera platform back here on the right.
We were talking to Dave. He said that he'd never yelled, or he doesn't yell, and he kind of gave us a reason why. Do you recall that, and being your experiences with him, and how does that help you learn, I guess, when you don't have somebody that's just berating you?
Yeah, Coach never yell. I never heard Coach yell. His kid, I've been around his kids, and his son, he be all over the place, and he don't even yell at him. So I think he looks at us as young, mature adult. We not grown men yet because at the end of the day, we still need help with a lot of things, and we in college. So I think that's the best thing he does for us, and he always knows everybody learns differently. So he tries to do enough in order to get the message across to the whole inside linebacker corp. He don't leave nobody out, and if it's somebody that's not catching on fast enough, he pull them aside into special individual meetings, like I have with him, and try to bring them up to where the rest of the linebackers are. So at the end of the day, he wants the best for everybody, and I think that's what's the best thing that I can say about Coach Aranda is that he don't leave nobody out.
We'll go to the camera platform on the left side in the back.
Devin, you've obviously solidified yourself on defense, but you played a little running back in high school. How much does that help you diagnose run plays when you're on the field, and have you ever lobbied for carries when maybe it's garbage time?
I'm gonna tell you that helps a lot. You know, if I could tell any player in high school, don't play one position. You know, don't settle yourself. You know, be a player that can do a lot of things, because like right now, you know, and I say the number one thing that helped me out is in pass coverage. You know, I know how to drop. You know, I'm kind of smooth with my hips because I played running back before. And as far as that lobbying for a couple of carries, man, I do it all the time. I run around with the ball in practice just to show them, you know, coach, hey, I did this before. Let me get a couple of carries. But Coach Aranda not letting it happen. So, you know, I'm gonna move on from that this year and just focus strictly on defense.
Go to the second row over here to the right.
So Coach O was just in the other room saying that, you know, a couple plays here, a couple plays there, and you guys would be right there with Alabama, but almost doesn't count. You know, Foster was saying that sometimes he thinks you guys build up the game a little too much, you know, with the bye week and stuff. Just what do you think can help get you over the hump against Alabama?
I think the thing we need to do is just come out and play 5 quarters, complete domination. You know, we just need to you know, focus on ourselves, you know, and don't focus on the other team, because I feel like you get distracted when you focus on the other teams and you lose sight of what you need to do as a team. And a couple times we lost sight of what we needed to do, but this year, you know, we're just going to focus on ourselves and focus on what we need to do, and we're going to execute what we need to do.
We'll go to the front row over here on the left.
Just to piggyback off that, I'm looking at the schedule. It's Miami, it's Georgia, it's Auburn, it's Alabama. This may be the most daunting schedule you've seen at LSU. Just speak to the challenge of facing a schedule like that.
I mean, you want to play the best teams, you know, because you can play some less teams and you can overlook them. But with this schedule right here, you can't overlook nobody. You got to go in every game on your A game. You got to be mentally prepared. You got to be physically prepared, and you got to be ready to play the game, because at the end of the day, it's just football, you know, and every guy on my team been playing football for numerous, you know, years. So you can't make it no bigger than what it is, because at the end of the day, when we come to town, a team gonna say we got to play LSU, just how you just said we got to play those teams. So that's the way I look at it. Like, you know, we one of those teams that you got to mark on your schedule as well, but at the end of the day, we got to take it one game at a time, because we got to play Miami first. We can't just jump to Georgia, because if we do that, then we'll be losing focus on the task at hand.
We'll go right here in the middle to the left.
Devin, what would be the most important thing that you want people to know about you?
I think the number one thing that I want people to know about me is I try to go to church every Sunday during the season and, you know, in the off-season time. And, you know, I just try to, you know, be just a faithful Christian. And because at the end of the day, I know where my blessings come from. And I know, you know, if I keep getting closer to with Christ, I know what all he can do for me. And, you know, that's just why I want to live by, because at the end of the day, I know where I want to go when I'm done on this place. And, you know, it's to heaven. So I think that's the number one thing that I want people to know about me.
All right, got time for a couple more. We'll go right here.
If you could have some fun with this a little bit, tell me about Foster Morrow. What is he like off the field? You know, any stories, his personality? What's he like to be around?
Well, he's not a great person to be around because he's too smart. He uses big words all the time that you don't know what they mean. I'm pretty sure Michael Burnett and them told him, do not come up here talking like this, because y'all would be fascinated by how he can talk. So we got to get him to tone it down a little bit. And I hate when he do that to me, because, you know, he went to a very nice school in New Orleans, Jesuit, and I know they has a real good education system there. And I think that's the number one thing I can say about him. But, you know, other than that, his work ethic. You know, he's a guy that didn't have it all in high school. He wasn't the All-American. He was just telling me how he didn't even make All-State. But if you look at him now and look at what he has accomplished at LSU, you would have never knew because of the work ethic that the guy has. So I think, you know, he get overshadowed by a lot of people, but, you know, in the end, he about to wake some people up, because, you know, he's been working extremely hard.
All right, last question, all the way in the back on the right.
How has Rashard grown in that defensive line over there, and what's the relationship like with you two off the field?
Well, I think the number one thing for Rashard Lawrence is he's been a leader all his life. He's been on winning teams in high school. You know, he's always been his top player. But at the end of the day, he never let the game get bigger than him. You know, he's always been a great brother. I think that's the number one thing. You know, the thing with me and Rashard is we kind of from the same area, you know, the 318 North Louisiana. And I've been knowing about him all my life. And I look up to Rashard, you know. I'm older than him, but I look up to him because of what he has accomplished and what type of person he is. You know, Rashard, a guy that at LSU, he makes straight A's, and people don't even talk about it. You know, he's a guy that's just dialed into everything. You know, he does whatever, you know, anybody asks of him, whether it's a fan. You know, if a fan asks him for autograph, he gonna make sure he do it because that's just what type of guy he is. So I like to call him a big teddy bear because he's so sweet, man. He don't have a bad bone in his body, I can tell you that.
Thanks, Devin.
No, thank you.